Everybody, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. TammyTalks here. So let's keep the ball going. Love is Blind, Season 2, Episode 5, Leaving Paradise. All right? So it starts off with Nick and Danielle. So it's after the party, the meetup where all the couples, everybody meets each other. They're back at their room, and they're talking about Shaina and Kyle, how they weren't there. Everyone, like, no one is shocked because, like everyone has been saying, one is an atheist. Oh my God. Like, one is an atheist, one is a Christian. So, like, of course, they're not really going to jail. But then they start talking about Sal and Mallory. Now, remember, Danielle did not go, right? So they're talking about Jarret, and how Nick is saying how he encouraged Jarret to go up to Mallory, talk to her, clear the air, yada, yada, yada. Danielle is like, yeah, well, she was really upset too when she turned down a proposal, like she was sobbing because she felt bad, whatever the case. And Nick was like, word? Because, Nick has no idea. So, when the couples get together and we start hearing things that the guys have talked about and the girls have talked about, like, they're able to better piece together, the story. So Nick said that he had a good time, but he just couldn't wait to get back to her. And Danielle was like, yeah, I bet you did. And I was like, well, damn, Danielle, what happened? So Danielle said that she was out on the balcony, like, watching them. And I guess she must have saw Nick talking to another woman for a little bit too long. I mean, it's the cast there. Everyone there is, like, with somebody. I don't think Nick had any other connections. But she starts to feel away. And she was like, yeah, I saw you walking towards the beach. He was like, no, you didn't. And she was like, yeah, I saw you walking towards the beach with another woman. He said, oh, we were talking about capitalism. So Danielle is going to, I can feel it, Danielle is going to sabotage this relationship herself, mainly because she doesn't trust anybody. She has these body issues. She has low self-esteem, and that's going to lead to the ultimate demise of her relationship with Nick, because she's accusing him of stuff he's not doing. So that she said that she sat there because she was sick, mind you, and she said that she went and locked herself in the closet and cried for 3 hours. I said, oh, girl, what are you crying over? You should have took your ass on to the party then. But this is ridiculous. Like, I cannot believe that they are having this many arguments, not just them, but like everybody is having this many arguments, and they not even out of Mexico yet. Lord have mercy. So she's basically saying that she don't trust him. He feels a way about that because he has not done anything to not be trusted. So they're going back and forth. He told her, you're going to stop this toxic behavior. I said, I know that's right, Nick. Put your foot down. Because the way that she came at him and the way that she's like not trusting him off of no basis is absolutely ridiculous. And I get it, girl. You have low self-esteem, but you can't project that onto someone else. You know what I mean? Because she keeps saying, how, what if he sees someone's prettier? Everybody there was engaged. I did not really care for Danielle in the pods, and it is becoming very, very more solidified for me, because if it's one thing that I cannot stand to do is see somebody self-sabotage themselves, their relationship, and then project their own insecurities onto someone else. And what Danielle is doing to Nick is completely ridiculous. So they're arguing, and like, he's kind of over it, because what are we arguing about? You're arguing because you saw him talking in a group of people and you can't see. Why were you being a creeper looking from the porch in the first place? If you felt well enough to stand outside and scope and try to see what was going on over there, you should have walked your ass over there and introduced yourself and been around him then. This is ridiculous, Danielle. You ain't even hear nobody else talk about Nick's name in the pod. So the next morning, she said that she's mistrusting of men because of her looks. So she just wants for them both to apologize and move on. But what is he apologizing for? No, we're not going to both apologize. You need to apologize for the crazy that came out, but there's no reason for Nick to apologize because Nick didn't do anything wrong. Nick was confused. He just had a good time at the party, doing his contractual obligation thing to do, but he also told her, look, I asked you if you wanted me to stay, and you said no. I said, all right, okay. So Nick said that if they would have met any other way, under any other circumstances, and had an argument like that, that would have been done. But because they have connected on a deeper level, based on their communication, that they're able to work through it. And I'm like, y'all not done with it. Y'all not past it. Y'all not past it. We see that later in the episode. So Mallory and Sal, so they're at dinner, and he apologized for overreacting to her and Jarret. So what I'm gathering is something happened when they got back to the room. He said that he wanted to just lay down and go to sleep because he was full of emotion, and the way that he saw her talking to Jarret for a little bit too long, he felt the way about it, and he didn't that's why he broke down, because he knows that Jarret was her other connection. He knows how Jarret was reacting when they didn't get together. And I still would like to know why Mallory did not accept, or why Mallory didn't accept Jarret's proposal. I really want to know that. I mean, if she feels like she has a stronger connection with Sal, but I don't know. It's weird. So Jarret is what she has previously dated, she said. That's and I'm assuming by looks, aesthetics, everything like that. But she says she loves Sal, and that's not going to change. I said, yeah, you're in love with Sal's personality, but Jarret is the full package to you, and that's why she's so conflicted. So they talk. Sal tells her that this is a choice, right? He wants her to choose not only him, but to choose to be here because she wants to be here. Wants is the key word. Don't feel obligated to be here. I want you to pick me. I want you to be here because you are choosing to be with me. And I don't know, Sal. I don't see this working. So we switch over to Jarret and Iyanna. And they're talking, and he jokingly tells her that, girl, I was ready to run after day one. I like Jarret's personality, but I got my eye on Jarret because I feel like at the end of this, Jarret is going to end up with Mallory if these two don't stay together. So Ayanna said that she trusts him. He's a grown-ass man. And that's how it should be. You're a grown-ass man. You're an adult. I trust you to go out and not do no foolishness on me. That's just what it comes down to. So, but she said for her, lying and cheating are deal breakers. Plausible. That's cool. So they didn't talk about being friends with exes. Jarret, it moves under the understanding, under the theory of you don't want to burn bridges because you never know who you're going to need. I live by that as well. Don't burn bridges with anybody, whether leaving a job, whether you fall out with a friend, because you never know who you are going to need later on in life for any given reason. Ayanna said you will never need an ex. He brings up the example of what if I, want to go apply for a job and that ex works in HR. And she was like, no, you don't need an ex for anything. And I kind of feel like that's a very childish mentality to have. I feel like people, if you and the ex 10 years later still aren't getting along, unless, there was domestic violence or something like that, or fraud or theft or something like that. If y'all just broke up because y'all moved on and all that other type of stuff, you should be able to be friends and be cool with that ex. Not even friends, but be cordial with it afterwards. So then he tells her, look, if you ever feel that I have put you in a situation that you're not comfortable in, or you're not comfortable with what's going on, will you come over and say something? She said she wouldn't in that moment, but she would say something after. And I said, I don't know, y'all. I feel like they have chemistry, but I feel like Jarret is talking in circles right now because he's really trying to be like, I can be cool and kick it with Mallory because there's nothing going on. I don't want to burn bridges with her just in case this doesn't work. Whereas Ayanna is looking at it as, don't be over there talking to Mallory. Because I feel like Mallory is the ex that they're talking about. But they're doing it in circles so it doesn't feel that way. But the other is picking up what the other one is putting down, right? So she says she's big on body language. And if she notices something, she will call it out. But she said ultimately, she can trust his words, but she has to see action. I need to see actionable steps and see this put into play in order for me to feel that, we're progressing in a more positive way. So then we have Deeps and Shake. They go to a cenote. I tried to write it out phonetically, and I think I still did wrong. But it's an underground cave. He thinks that they have a strong enough connection to fight for. He's not attracted to her physically. He's not attracted to her sexually, but they really, really vibe. So he's trying to not be the shallow ass man, that fuck boy that we know he is. We don't see the Shakes, but I feel like you are going to disappoint me, bro. So then we have the group date. Everyone goes to hang out and play volleyball in the sand. And we see a lot of really good conversations going on. Sal tried to pick up Mallory and run into the water with her. He falls, said that his water shoes, tripped him up. And I know the whole time Mallory was thinking Jarret's big strong ass wouldn't have dropped me. She said she had salt water in her contact. Her eye is burning. I said, that's why I can't fool with contacts. Me and my glasses good, because I don't need nothing in my eye getting irritated and I can't do it. So we see Ayanna and Jarret, and she mentions how extroverted he is. She never realized that because, he's interacting with all the guys. He's talking to the women. He's just having a bit, like, he's enjoying himself. And she's over to the side like, Like, she doesn't know kind of what to do with herself. Mallory and Natalie talk, and they talk about what it was like when Mallory met Jarret. And she said that she's overwhelmed by the entire situation. And I said, overwhelmed about what, Mallory? You know what you need to do. And I think, here's the thing. I was just replying to a comment from, I want to make sure, from Delta. So this is what I mean, Delta, if you're watching this, girl. When I say that I think that they are being genuine in their feelings, I think they are. I think Mallory genuinely does love and care for Sal because they connected, in the pods on that personality wise, right? I feel the same with Jarret and with Ayanna. But I feel like the chemistry that Jarret has with Mallory is undeniable at this point. They're going to be conflicted. Do I think these are real engagements? No, I don't. I don't consider these real engagements. I just don't. I also kind of feel that you are single until you're married. You know what I mean? You are single until you're married, which means that at any point you can walk out of an engagement, you can walk out of a relationship, especially this. This is a trial run. Now, if they get to the wedding day and they say yes and get married and then they're still kind of looking at the other, sure. But the idea was for people to connect without looking at each other, to connect, emotionally, personality-wise. They did. I don't think it means that Jarret doesn't truly connect with Ayanna. I just feel like he has a stronger connection with Mallory. Now, as far as him proposing to Ayanna, I do think that while he really does care for her, he doesn't plan to marry that woman at this point. I don't know, like, we haven't seen all the episodes, but I think at this point, in this moment, he proposed to her because he wants to try to fill it out and see if they can get to that connection where they can get married. But I do think that in the back of his mind, it was on some, I can see Mallory there. I think everybody's being genuine with their feelings and how they're acting on it. I think people are being honest with their intentions. I think sometimes some people, not you, Delta, but I think some people expect a little too much out of TV. Like, these are real people. I think this is especially more real than Married at First Sight. You can tell this isn't scripted. People aren't put together for ratings. These people are picking one another, right? I don't think there is no penalty, if they go and see each other and they don't decide not to get married, which I'm sure has happened in some of these cases. We only just see the people that have gotten together. I just feel like Mallory and Jarret are in a very, very awkward situation. I feel like they're in a very, very awkward situation, and their spouses, their partners are feeling that, and they're feeling a pull away from their partners as well, they all need to sit down and have a real ass conversation. But Ayanna should not have accepted this proposal. Ayanna should not have accepted this proposal because, girl, don't be nobody's second fiddle. Nobody's. So we see Shayne and Natalie. So they're talking about how she is an introvert. And she said that, by her being an introvert, being around people doesn't give her energy. It sucks the energy out of her. And Shayne starts kind of talk about sex. And I mean, Shayne is going to really get on my last damn nerve. But he starts talking about sex. She doesn't want to talk about sex in front of the cameras. And I feel like every conversation with him leads to him kind of mentioning sex or doing some type of sexual innuendo. So then he says that Shake isn't into Deeps sexually. And she was like, that's fucked up. I don't like Natalie, but I was like, yeah, it is. Especially because why are you going around and telling everybody? Keep it to yourself. Deal with it to yourself. Talk to Deeps about that, and then y'all can figure out what's going on with that. But there was absolutely no reason for you to tell anybody you are not attracted to your fiance. So Nick and Deeps are over talking about her connection with Shake and like what was the first kiss like. And I'm on the fence with Nick, but they're talking about Nick will say, well, you know if it's right with you because you'll just know. Deep's gonna say that they stopped themselves sexually because they want to kind of wait. No, he stopped sexually because he's not attracted to you in that way, sweetheart. And I hate it for her, but I mean, I also kind of feel like, I don't know why you thought that he would be a changed man overnight with that type of stuff. You know what I mean? He told you off rip that he was really into the looks and the way that he was trying to phrase stuff. So I don't know why I don't know. I don't know. So Shake and Deep are at dinner, and he's worried that, they're on a bit of a honeymoon phase right now. And he's worried that once they get back to real life and all this responsibility that they have going on starts to get into the works, what's going to happen with their attraction. He's trying to open up like a vet hospital, and he has all these different other entrepreneurial things that he wants to do. And she said that she understands that. Now is the time to be on your grind. Now is the time where we're in our, when you're young, to do this to set yourself up for life. And she's okay with that. She understands that. She supports that. So he feels that, he didn't come into this looking for like a super supportive woman. And I think he's kind of realizing that the way that he has been moving in the dating scene before is kind of flawed, but it's hard to step out of that box and be like, I don't care what she looks like. He's looking for a very specific type of person. So Nick and Danielle are at dinner. He's worried that his dog won't like her cat. And I said, well, okay. So she's scared that, and she tells him that she's worried that he is going to judge her based off of that outburst that she had. He absolutely is, because it came out of nowhere. It happened, the second or third night y'all were there. It was very concerning. I would be concerned too that you don't trust me because you think you're ugly, or you think that I'm going to be looking elsewhere, when Nick has really been showing her that he's all about her and he really likes her and all this other kind of stuff. So he was like, no, I'm trying to understand. She said, you're judging me right now. I said, Danielle, girl, gone somewhere. So he tells her, like, I'm trying to understand what's going on. You're not allowing me to. You're kind of lashing out. She's like, yeah, because you're judging me, but we don't know each other's. I said, I don't have time for this. And Danielle, if I have to mute your scenes, I will. So we have Shayne and Natalie. They're at dinner. And he bites into something. He says it's good. She said, well, what is it? He keeps saying it's really good. Oh, my God, this is good. What is it? Oh, this is fantastic. So she gets out. What is it? He gets mad and was like, I can't talk with my mouth full. You can tell me how good it is. It takes nothing for you to be like, it's a burrito. Like, it takes nothing for you to say that. If you can open your mouth to say that this is fantastic and keep saying this is good, you can answer her question on what it is. They are both annoying. And from Natalie's side, you see this man is chewing. Let him swallow and then he'll tell you. Natalie is annoying. Shayne is annoying, but Natalie is annoying too. So he asks her if she is going to wear the sexy red dress she has on to meet his mother. She said, why would I do that? No, why the hell would I do that? And he was like, well, why not? I don't know what type of incestuous situation they got going on, but maybe he meant it in a different way, but that was not an appropriate dress to meet your mother in. So he asked her how does she feel the past couple of days have been going. He was like, with me sucking all the energy out of you. And I forgot what she said. She mentioned something, and it turns into them talking about how they joke around a lot. He tells her that she jokes around a lot about their relationship, and he wants to know why she's not, bragging about the relationship to other people. She said that's just not what she does. That's not her personality. She doesn't understand why she needs to brag about how good the relationship is going. That's something between the two of them, and it's because Shayne wants attention. Shayne wants Natalie to go around and be like, yeah, he's so good to me. He's bomb as fucking bad, girl. Like, that's what he wants, because he wants people to come up to him and say, oh my God, you're such a good man. You're such a good husband. He wants those affirmations. And if he's not going to get it from Natalie, then he wants to get it from anybody else. And that's just not how she is. So he gets kind of mad about that, and he leaves the table. I said, okay. Shayna's back. So we see Shaina and Kyle back in Chicago. They're meeting for lunch. He asks her, where is her ring? She said he's being weird. He's absolutely not being weird, Shaina. You are engaged. Where is your ring? On top of that, where is my mama's ring that I gave you? That's why he's asking. This isn't a ring that he just went and picked out and bought, or production bought, or however Love is Blind does this. This is a ring that he brought from home that means something to him that he gave you. You should have it on. She said that they were moving too fast and she wasn't comfortable being in a room with him and, spending the night and stuff with him. If it was Shayne, you wouldn't feel that way. Shaina is honestly reminding me of Alyssa from Married at First Sight, because she's not attracted to him physically, right? The physical's not there for her. On top of the fact that he's an atheist. I think Shaina is on that Jarret where they agreed for the proposal, accepted the proposal, because they had plans of knowing that they will be able to see the person that they wanted to be with anyways. So she said that they have beliefs that they won't, that they're not willing to change and all this other stuff. And I really want Kyle to be like, why did you accept my proposal then? I really want him to do that. I really want him to just ask her, I'm an atheist. You are a devout Christian. If you feel that we're not going to bend on certain things, why did you say yes? Ask her, Kyle. Ask her. So she says he tells her that he's willing to compromise on a lot of things because he thinks this can work. She don't want you. So she is, in her confessional, says that she is still thinking about Shayne and she is not going to take a backseat to Natalie or her feelings. I said, what a bitch. Like, that is so rude to say. And I told y'all, and I think it was in episode 3 recap, that she was going to be just like Lindsay was when it came to Amber and Barnett from last season, and she's gonna interject her ass into their relationship, and I hope she gets egg on her face and Shayne is not going for her at all, because don't come into this with the plan of ruining somebody else's relationship. I don't think Mallory and Jarret are looking at this as they're going to ruin the other person's relationship, but Shaina really, that's what she's aiming to do. Trash. Too old for this. This is also the same heifer that said if you're a man and you don't eat the bread at the table, you're not a real man. So back at home, everybody's moving in. Everybody's telling their families that they got engaged, yada, yada, yada. We're at Sal and Mallory's house, okay? Their apartment. Mallory is finishing up some work. Sal is pouring some wine. Because people on TV, watching TV will make you think that you're supposed to come home after a day of work and have a glass of wine off rip. So he wants to talk about the situation with her and Jarret. I said, I know you fucking lying, Sal. I know you don't want to have this conversation again. And Mallory is like, I'm confused. Why is this coming back up? He said that he feels away because of how long her and Jarret were talking. He said he also overheard after her conversation with Jarret, Mallory tells somebody, well, we don't have to get married at the end of this. Now, on one hand, I see what Mallory is saying. I also see Sal's point. Mallory is saying that at the end of this, because like I told you, I don't consider these real engagements. But at the end of this, if it doesn't work out and they decide not to get married, that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? So that's how Mallory is looking at it. Sal sees that as, well, if at the end of this we don't get married, I'm going to go bust down for Jarret real quick. If Sal feels that she's not interested in him, you need to cut your losses, sweetheart, and you need to walk away from this. So she tells him, so then Mallory kind of lets it out. And she's like, well, me and Jarret were talking about the ring. He asked why my ring wasn't gold. She was like, and then I kind of looked at all the other women's rings and it's what they wanted. So she kind of asked him, like, even though I do love my ring, why didn't you get me the type of ring that I wanted? Because now it makes me feel like you don't listen to me and you're not interested. And I said, well, damn. Sal comes back and said, well, this is the ring I picked out for you. This is the one I wanted you to have. Maybe I should have asked more questions. You probably should have. But I'm sorry, but if I'm telling you that this is the type of ring that I wanted, and you come back with, well, this is what I want you to have, that's not the proper response. It also just kind of shows that Jarret might have been a little more in tune with her. So, Sal is feeling really, really threatened now. And Sal is pissed because he's like, why would Jarret even bring that up to you? Jarret shouldn't have brought that up, but, Jarret's trying to get in where he fits in with her. So she then says that she can't tell how much he really is into her. And I feel like, Mallory, you're only saying that because of all the stuff that Jarret said and laid out on the line in front of you. I would not be surprised, y'all, if we don't see some apartment doors creeping and squeaking in the middle of the night of Jarret and Mallory meeting up, not to have sex or anything, but to talk or any of that other type of stuff. This season is going to be so messy. I feel like so much happens every episode. I hate that they're putting out 5 episodes at a time. I really wish Netflix would put out stuff one episode at a time every week. So that it's easier for everybody to talk to and have a conversation about. But that's not what Netflix is designed for. So let me know how you guys feel about Mallory and Sal. What do you guys think? How do you guys feel about all of these couples? What do you guys think is going to happen? Who do you think is going to get married? If you know the answer, don't say it. I know there are spoilers out. If you know, do not say it. I will block you. I promise. But let's talk about the first 5 episodes of Love is Blind. Catch you guys in the next one.